The only way to stop caring what other people think of you forever is to stop relying on the external world altogether to validate you and to make you feel happy. If your happiness and satisfaction is reliant on an external source, whether that be entertainment, food, porn, drugs, sex, hanging out with your friends, if you need a certain thing to make you happy, and you're not able to just be happy with the present moment just the way it is now, then this problem of people pleasing, this problem of caring too much about what other people think of you is going to plague you for the rest of your life. And this was something I had to discover the hard way when I was 16 years old and I was in high school. Like most high school kids, I was very preoccupied with what the other kids were thinking of me. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be funny. I wanted to be popular. And I wanted to have cool clothes. I wanted other people to like me because I felt like I needed something from other people. I thought that if the pretty girls liked me, then that would give me some kind of happiness that I was lacking. And so what I would do is I would act in a sort of needy way. I would make awkward jokes. I would try to oversell myself to the girls. I would act in an inauthentic way, and this caused other people to not really like me very much because I was coming off as needy. But then I found that sometimes whenever I didn't care about what other people thought of me, like let's say there were no pretty girls around and it was just like my ugly guy friends, then my guy friends loved hanging out with me because when I'm with them, I was kind of free to be my authentic self. So this was actually such a big problem for me that my first girlfriend that I got in high school ended up breaking up with me after about 6 months because I was super needy and I was always worried that she didn't like me. I wasn't grounded in my own energy. This broke my heart. After she broke up with me, I was like, damn, something is deeply wrong with me and I need help. I need to fix this problem. So I went on the internet. I started discovering personal development. I started learning about dating skills. I started learning about meditation. And meditation was really the main thing that allowed me to take my energy back, meaning to stop caring so much what other people think of me and to ground myself internally just in the fact of existence. So when I was practicing meditation, I started by doing just 20 minutes every single day, paying attention to the breath, paying attention to the rising and the falling of the belly. And then I would immediately notice myself get distracted and start craving for video games and start craving for porn and start craving for food and entertainment and sex and validation from other people. When I would do meditation, I'd be focusing on my breath, all calm and peaceful. Then all of a sudden, I would start craving to hang out with people. And I would get sucked into these thought stories of me telling funny jokes in front of other people, and then the girls all laughing, and then, going on dates with me and all this stuff. And as I was meditating, I didn't even realize that I was getting sucked into these thought stories. It was just happening automatically. But luckily, my mentor was telling me that, hey, whenever you get lost in a thought story, just return back to the breath. Just return back to the breath. Don't judge yourself for getting lost in thoughts. That's completely normal. That would be like judging fire for being hot. The mind is going to think fire is going to be hot, Water's going to be wet. That's just the nature of the mind, is to think. So don't judge the mind for thinking, and don't judge certain thoughts as being bad. Just label all thoughts as being neutral and just let them go and return to the rising and falling of the belly. And that's what I did. Over time, maybe after a couple of months, I started noticing that I started caring a lot less of what other people thought of me. Because also at the same time, I was getting more into my personal development. I was watching videos on YouTube that were teaching me how to self-actualize. I was reading books that were teaching me how to self-actualize. I was exercising. I was meditating. And now that I was focusing on my own growth and my own personal development, now I found that when I started hanging out with other people, I wasn't as sensitive to their judgments of me, and I wasn't as afraid of making a fool of myself, because even if the other people that I'm talking to judge me and gossip behind my back and they don't like me, I would think to myself, well, it doesn't really matter because I have self-actualization. I'm meditating every day. I'm working on grounding my attention in the present moment. So, okay, sure, whatever, these people don't like me, but who cares? Because in 10 years, if I just keep meditating every single day consistently, then I'm going to be completely neutral. I'm going to be completely free from all external validation. This is kind of my mindset. I was looking out 10 years into the future thinking like, okay, I'm going to self-actualize myself. I'm going to do all these good habits like reading, exercise, eating healthy, learning, meditation. I'm going to do all that consistently, and I'm going to wait for it to compound over time. Because if you read one book, okay, that's pretty good. But if you read one book per month for 5 years, all of a sudden that's 48 books. Or is that 48 books? That's 60 books, even more. Not many people have read 60 books about personal development and self-actualization and spirituality and meditation. So I was looking into the future, and this vision of self-actualization, this long-term vision, actually started to ground me in my own self. I wasn't relying on other people to make me happy or other people to like me, because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if other people like me or not, because I'm reading amazing books and I'm meditating and I'm expanding my consciousness and I'm learning about the philosophy and spirituality and history and science, and I'm building for myself a complex and intricate worldview. I'm learning what the true nature of reality is. This grounded me in myself, and then, honestly, I stopped caring what other people thought of me. Even if there were pretty girls around, I was able to practice meditation in social interactions. As I got older, when I started leaving high school and my meditation benefits started compounding over time, I was meditating for about 2 years by the time I left high school. Then I was able to actually be aware that sensations and the nature of the present moment is like a dream. I was actually able to wake up in the present moment. And when I would talk to girls and I was in a state of being aware that reality is a dream, then I could be free. I could be playful. I could make jokes. I could self-deprecate myself. I can make a fool of myself and then laugh about it and really not care what other people thought of me. Like, genuinely, I wasn't pretending to not care, because that's what I used to do when I was in grade 9 when I first started high school. I would pretend to not care what other people thought of me. I would have this stoic kind of attitude all the time, where I just didn't care. Like, if some girl rejected me, then I would pretend that, like, I didn't even care about girls. I was so stoic, and I so didn't care what other people thought of me, that I didn't even put myself out there. I realized that was a mistake. So when I started practicing meditation, I started being honest with myself about what I want. If there's a pretty girl, I would be honest with myself, like, wow, I'd love to go talk to that girl right now. And then when I would go talk to her, I would be honest with her. I wouldn't try to, like, use a fancy pickup line. I would just be honest. Hey, I think you're cute, and that's why I wanted to talk to you right now. That's it. And since I was getting good at meditation, I didn't even care if I'd get rejected. And even if I cared a little bit, even if I did care about it, I was able to let that go. I was able to act in spite of my fear. I was able to accept my fear and embrace my fear and just witness it neutrally. And over time, now it's been like 6 years where I've been practicing meditation and doing self-actualization. And now I'm starting to get to a point where I feel like I live all by myself and I don't really hang out with people much, but I love it. Actually, this is the best thing ever. I love that I don't see anyone and I just get to kind of be all by myself. Of course, on the weekends, I'll go hang out with my friends. I'll talk to my friends on the phone sometimes. But for the most part, for the big chunk of the day, I'm just hanging out all by myself. And I love it. I don't need validation from other people. The other day, I was at the water store. I was filling up my water jugs with some reverse osmosis water. Filtered water is very important. Some random woman started talking to me and was just talking to me about water or whatever. And I was just kind of meditating while I was talking to her. And I was realizing how grounded I was, how calm and chill I was talking to this stranger. Normally, like in the past, I would have been super anxious and weird. But now, like, I honestly, genuinely don't care what other people think of me. This is such a liberating feeling. It's not a pretend thing. It's not like, oh, I'm just pretending that I don't care what other people think of me. Because sometimes I actually do get socially awkward. Sometimes I do care what other people think of me. But since I can meditate, even when I get socially awkward, I can just be aware of it and remain neutral. I can just accept it. And when you accept your social awkwardness, then it starts to dissolve. It doesn't even matter anymore. Then you can make a joke about it. You can be awkward, and then you can have a good laugh about it. And then the other person's gonna have a good laugh about it too, because other people feel the way you feel. So if you feel needy, if you feel dissatisfied with the present moment, if you are always in this like chasing cycle of needing external reality to make you feel good in your heart, because you haven't seen through the illusion of the mind, you haven't sat in meditation long enough and actually witnessed the chasing pattern of the mind, always scheming ways to maximize its pleasure and to minimize its pain. You have to witness the mind doing this. It's not enough to know that the mind does this conceptually because you listen to my video. You have to sit through it and see it for yourself. You have to actually see, oh, my mind won't stop thinking. For the first 2 years of my meditation practice, most of it was just rambling monkey mind. I couldn't stop thinking. I needed to go through that to actually see how bad my situation was. I don't think you realize how bad your situation is when it comes to the deep need of this egotistical conditioning, this chasing pattern. This is a deeply rooted thing. You can't unwire this in one psychedelic trip or in one meditation sit. This pattern goes so deep, it requires many years of meditation practice. And even that won't guarantee that you escape the dream of chasing, the dream of thinking that something else will bring me happiness. Vipassana meditation is the best. I talked about it in my last video. Bare experience is the only truth. Check that out if you're wondering like what kind of meditation to do. Check out that video. Other people feel what you feel. So when I am present and awake in this moment, and when I am not reliant on anything to make me happy, but I'm just satisfied with the way reality is now, then when other people hang out with me and when other people talk to me and interact with me, they feel the way I feel. They start to feel satisfied. They feel me being honest and authentic, and then they start to feel safe that now they can be honest and authentic around me. Because I have created this kind of safe container for myself where I never, ever, ever judge myself for being bad. I am always open to understanding myself and being compassionate. So self-acceptance is not just about like, oh, I just accept all of my weaknesses and I just like give in to my weaknesses and I just can never fix myself. Self-acceptance is not about just being lazy and accepting the way you are so you never have to grow yourself. Self-acceptance is really just about witnessing the way you are now. And noticing that even if you are thinking or acting or feeling some kind of toxic or dysfunctional pattern or emotion, you witness it and you accept it. You try to understand it. The way you understand anything in life is through observation. That's how science works. If I want to understand how moray eels mate in the depths of the ocean, and I want to understand how they hunt and where they lay their eggs, if they lay eggs, and all that stuff, I want to know the intricacies of moray eels. It's not enough that I read a book about moray eels. And it's not even really enough that I watch a video about moray eels. I actually need to dedicate my life. I need to go get a scuba certification. I need to learn how to scuba dive. And I need to actually swim down to the depths of the ocean with, like, my actual body needs to actually be there in the ocean with the eels and observe the eels neutrally without judging them. Not that I judge the eels as being good or bad. I just watch them. And I observe. I see what they do. How do they swim? What time of day are they the most active? Are they diurnal or are they nocturnal? Observation is the only way to learn about reality. If you want to master a subject, you need to observe it a lot. So the same with the mind. If you want to master your mind, you need to observe it a lot. This is the only way to free yourself from the chains of always being shackled to needing external things to make you feel happy. Whenever you feel like you need a specific sensation, whether that be a mystical experience, whether that be a specific porn video, or a specific video game, or a specific high from smoking marijuana or doing psychedelics. Or you need a specific person to like you. You need a specific income in your business. And you bank your happiness on that. If you tell yourself, if I don't get that, then I can't be happy now. I'm going to chase after it. When you're chasing after something, you're not actually aware of the nature of experience. You're not actually aware that the only thing that matters in life is being present. Because even when you get that thing that you want, let's say you want this girl to like you, and then you ask her out, and then she actually likes you and she actually goes on a date with you. The problem is that now you're still going to be in the chasing mode. Your mind is still going to be on this kind of forward turning hamster wheel. You notice that whenever I do this motion with my hand, where it's like a forward circle, that's actually the energetic pattern that I've observed through thousands of hours of meditation. The actual energetic pattern is a forward circle. My teacher was actually teaching me this, and she told me that try actually visualizing a backward circle. Imagine like there's a ball that's in front of you, and then actually move the ball in a backward circle up above your head, behind your back, down your back, underneath your feet, and back up. Try it now. Actually visualize a backward circle of energy moving up above your head and behind you and around you. Do you notice that there's a total difference in the energy quality? We switch from doing to receiving. Instead of chasing after, even just doing this like makes me anxious. Even doing the forward circle, try it now. Try now, instead of doing the backward circle, do the forward circle where you're constantly chasing after the next thing, chasing after the next thing. Actually do this now. I actually did this on a meditation retreat once where they actually got us to chase after the next moment and actually like play it up, like dramatize it. Actually like go chase after the next moment now, like actually be in that state of reaching and reaching after the next moment. How does your body feel? What are your eyes like? How does your breathing feel? What's your body posture? What's your emotional state? What's your facial expression? When you're chasing after the next moment. What's that quality? How does that feel? For me, it feels like I'm about to faint. I feel like I can't breathe. I feel like I'm suffocating. I feel anxious. Now, try the backward circle. Yeah, backward circle of energy. Up, behind. Now it's like, whoa. Now I feel relaxed. I feel receptive. I feel like there's no rush. I feel satisfied with the moment now. That's the key. That's what we're trying to get you to. This doesn't require thousands of hours of meditation. You could just be satisfied now if you want to. And you do want to. That's what you want, is to be satisfied. So you can do a satisfaction meditation, which is where you sit for 20 minutes and you just stop chasing after the next moment. You just be satisfied with the way the moment is now. Stop needing something else to make you feel happy. You might sit in this meditation for 20 minutes and then all of a sudden you might get an urge to check your phone because you think that if I check my phone, then somehow that will add to my enjoyment of this present moment. If I just had some sex right now, that would make this present moment even better. So yeah, okay, I can sit in this satisfaction meditation alone in an empty room. But wouldn't it be better if I also was smoking a joint too at the same time? Wouldn't that make it better? And the answer is no. That there is the root cause of all suffering, because you're not understanding the nature of dopamine. All things that feel pleasurable are not permanent. They're temporary. They make you feel ungrounded. They make you feel needy. They make you feel anxious, because when you need something to make you feel happy, that is the root of all anxiety. Because now you're anxious that you might not get it. When you're doing a sales call with a client and you're needy, you need them to sign up with you so that you can make some money, you can get that dopamine rush of making money. If you're needy, you get anxious. And then, since other people mirror your energy, the person that's on the call with you also feels anxious. And now they don't want to sign up with you because they feel anxious. People don't want to, part with their money, especially if they feel anxious about it. But if you genuinely are in a non-needy place and you genuinely don't need to make this sale, and you don't need to get this girl to like you, you don't need this other person to validate you, you genuinely don't need this cigarette or this video game, because you're practicing meditation and you're grounded in your breathing, the raw, bare sensation of the rising and falling of the belly. And you're just satisfied with what's here now. You do the practice. You don't think about doing the practice. You do the practice of actually being aware of bare sensation. And just being okay with it now. And you actually observe the nature of experience, and you see how it's like a movie where there's just like frames per second. It's just light flickering on a screen. It's not solid. It's not made of anything. It's like when you're relying on external reality to fulfill you, it's like you're watching a movie and you're trying to hold on to one specific frame of the movie. That's so much suffering. You want to keep rewinding to your favorite part. You keep rewinding and rewinding and rewinding to your favorite part and watching it over and over and over again. But then you can never get to the end of the movie where the resolution happens, where you're finally satisfied. You can't enjoy the movie because you're anxious and attached to this one specific frame. And the reason why is because you think that thing is solid. You don't realize that thing you're holding on to is light. It's pure sensation. When you are aware of pure sensation without clinging to it, that's bliss. Any sensation, even if it's pain. When I was in Thailand and I was meditating, I had some serious pain in my knee. It was really bad. And I don't recommend meditating through that bad of pain. I thought I was all macho. Like, oh, look at me, I can meditate through pain. Don't be macho. Little bit of pain is okay, but excruciating pain is too much. I was pushing too much. Actually, I was attached to spirituality. I thought, if only I can meditate on this pain, then I can be enlightened. And in a sense, it actually did help me a lot, because I realized that when you focus on the bare sensation of the pain without reacting to it, because your natural tendency is to avert it, you want to push it away, you want to avoid the pain, you want to do something to get rid of it. But instead of that, if you just kind of allow it to arise and you stay neutral as the witness, then the pain doesn't hurt anymore. It's just sensation. This happened to me when I was getting my wisdom teeth out. Obviously, my mouth was numbed, but I was still very scared. Like, I was awake during the procedure. I got all 4 of my teeth dug out of my mouth, and it felt very uncomfortable. There was all kinds of pressure and just weird sensations in my mouth. And I was numbed, but still I was terrified. And the only thing I could do was just to be aware. And it was honestly kind of traumatic. So, yeah, it's a little bit traumatic. You can still acquire trauma. But yeah. Guys, this was how to be aware of the present moment. This was how to stop caring so much what other people think of you. The root solution is to take your power back. Stop giving your fulfillment away to the external reality, to sensations. A specific sensation can't satisfy you. The only thing that can really satisfy you is full acceptance of all sensations. Right, guys, I hope you liked this video. If you want to check out my free meditation guide where I show you how to meditate properly, check out the first link in the description. If you're interested in becoming a conscious creator, which means if you're someone who has a passion and you want to share it online and make a full-time income from it, but you have a mindset block, like I'm afraid of what other people think of me, I'm afraid of being judged, I have perfectionism, imposter syndrome, and you also don't know like what to do in terms of like online marketing. If you're new to that and you want to make a living off of it, then that's what I talk about in the Conscious Creator program. Check that out, book a call with me, and otherwise I will see you in the next video.